today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, it's going to be completely different from what we did yesterday. We're going to talk about parallel lines, skew lines, parallel planes, and things like that. So first of all, I think you all are pretty aware of what parallel lines are. So it would be like these two lines in the ceiling keep going forever and ever, okay? And a key thing about parallel lines is that they are coplanar. One thing about parallel lines is they don't have to, at that moment, lie in a plane, but you have to think about, could you draw a plane that would intersect both of them? So think about this. If you had this line up here on the ceiling and that line down there on the floor, could I slice a plane through this room that would go through up here and through down there?
Yes.
Yes. Wouldn't I be kind of just slicing our room in half diagonally, right? So those two lines are actually parallel. If you looked at, let's say this was a rectangle, a perfect rectangle, do you get that this and this are parallel? This and this are parallel? And even this one up here and this one down here are parallel, because you could diagonally do a plane, that would go through both of them, okay? Just like down here and up here would be parallel, because diagonally you could draw a plane that goes through both of them. Now, one of the things we have to talk about is how do we show that lines are parallel, okay? One of the ways that you can show that lines are parallel is by drawing kind of a sideways triangle on each of the lines. That means that they're parallel. If it's in color, they're usually hot pink, okay? Then the other way that you can show that two triangles are parallel is or two lines, are parallel is with two vertical lines. So if I'm saying this line and this line are parallel, I would say line JK with a line above it is parallel to is two vertical lines, and then line LM with a line above it. Now there are times in geometry where you'll have more than one set of parallel lines. So we'll talk in our next chapter about parallelograms, and when you do parallelograms, opposite sides are parallel, so these two would be parallel as well as these two would be parallel, okay? Now, one thing that I do not believe you guys have done much of, if any, is talked about skew lines. Skew lines are a little bit, go fast. Skew lines have two things that have to be true. One is they don't intersect, okay? So they can't touch at all. And they're not coplanar, which means that you can't even draw a plane through them, okay? So if you guys think of this line up here along the ceiling and the front wall, being horizontal and keep going left and right, and then back in that corner, if you think of a vertical line going up and down, that vertical line and this horizontal line are never gonna touch, and there's no way that I could draw a plane that would go horizontally through this and then turn and go vertically through that. That's just not possible. So with skew lines, again, they can't touch, and they're not in the same plane, and you can't draw a plane. So if I look at this box, okay, if you think of this line right here, and think of it even keep going left and right, is that line ever gonna touch a line back here?
No.
No. If this is horizontal and this is vertical, are they ever, could I put a plane through the two of them? No. Everybody understand that? Okay. That's skew lines. So in this diagram right here, what they are showing us is this line. Now you have to think of that three-dimensionally. So again, that box. If I was looking at this, that line would be this line coming straight out at you guys, okay? And then they're saying this is skew to this one down here, which would be this one going left and right. So this is going straight out at you guys above this plane right here, or this line right here. They will never touch, and you couldn't draw a plane that goes through both of them. So that makes them skew. And then I think they have one more example here. They're saying EG, which is this line right here, and AB. So this is really close to what we have there. So EG would be this line up here, and AB would be this line going left and right. This one's going straight out at you guys. This line is left and right. They never touch, and you can't draw a plane through them. So if we go here, this is what your assignment is going to look like. And if you take notes today, one of the two slides is an actual question in your homework today, okay? So it works to do notes or to take down the answers. So this one here says, name all planes parallel to plane ABG. Okay? That is the plane on the top. We want planes parallel to that. How many would there be?
One.
Just one, right? Wouldn't it be the one on the bottom, right? It would be like our floor and ceiling of this room. Now, do you guys remember how we name planes?
EDC.
EDC. You have to use 3 letters. Does it matter what order you put them in or which 3 letters you
No.
choose? No. So EDC is perfect. Okay. Then let's go to our next one. And we have all segments that intersect CH. CH is right here. We want to write down every single segment that touches it, basically. EH.
CHGH.
Okay, go. Did you say GH?
Mhm.
And what was the other ones?
CH.
CH is our line.
Oh yeah.
DH, DB, DC, VC, EC.
And EC. Does that look like all of them then? It
DH.
does. Say that again.
DH.
That one I already have colored. That one is one. Yep. Okay, so let's just go and write those down.
Wait, I have a question.
Yep.
Wait. The CB.
Yep. So it just has to touch
Oh.
this segment and it touches it, okay? So GHBC, EH, EC, and DC, okay? Now, if we go to our next one, it says, name all segments parallel to EF. Parallel to EF. EF is right here. What do you guys think? How many would be parallel to that?
DA, CB, HG.
Yep. 3, right?
Mhm.
Okay. so let's write those down. GHAD, GHAD, and BC. Okay. Then our next one is asking us to, let's see here, name all segments skew to BG. Okay. So I'm gonna just review because skew is new for us. Okay, they can't touch it and they can't be in the same plane, or you also can't draw a plane through the two of them. So here's what I mean by that. You know this line ED? Couldn't I diagonally draw a plane through this box that would go through both of them? So that means they would be coplanar because I could do it. So then I wouldn't include this one as do you get that?
Wait, can you re-say that?
Yeah. So in this box, okay, GB being right here, and then ED being down here. Do you see that I could diagonally draw a plane through this
okay.
box that would go through both? So what that means then is they're not skew.
So then would it be EH and DC?
Those two for sure, yes. EH and DC. There's 1, 2, 3,
Is
3 more.
AD?
AD, what do you guys think about that?
Cause it just goes straight down.
Yeah,
And then FE?
and then FE. Do you guys see that? Cause GB, think of that as going this way, and AD is going straight up. So GB's here, going, so if I held the box here, it's going straight out at you, and AD is over here going straight up and down. They're never gonna touch, okay? So that is correct, and then did you say EF too?
Yeah.
That's true too. I do see one more. EC, yes. So that would be like this one here connecting, and then the bottom one would be diagonal on this bottom plane, and they would never touch. Now, when you get to a point where you're like, do I have them all? Here's what you would do. Go segment by segment and see if it touches it, it can't be skew. And if you could draw a plane through it, or it's in the same plane, it's not skew. So FG touches it, AB touches it. Do you guys get FA as parallel to GB, as well as ED is parallel to GB, and HC is parallel to that, okay? Then GH touches it and BC touches it, okay? So we're gonna write down the green ones. So FEAD, and then EHEC, and then one more is DC. Okay? Alright, now if I go down, like I have the same diagram down below, it says name all planes parallel to AEF. AEF is this plane, and wouldn't it just have one that's across from it? Yes, and that would be GBC, like you said, Maya. Everybody get that? So plane GBC. Alright, now if we go down below, it says name all segments that intersect AF. So AF is right here, okay? We want everything that touches it.
D, A, D, A, E, F, G, F. And C.
So we're looking for what touches the blue line. Do we have all of them? Yes. Okay. So let's write those. So I'm gonna say FG, AB, FE, and AD. Okay. Then it says name all segments parallel to DC. Okay, DC is right here. Now in a box, you guys, 4 segments are going to be parallel anytime you have a box. So that means this one, and that one. Do you guys get it? Kind of like you're going around. It's gonna have 4. Everybody see that? Okay, so we're gonna say FG, EH, and DC. Then we have name all segments that are skew to AD. With skew, they can't touch it, and you can't put a plane through it or be in the same plane. Okay. Say that one more time. FG is correct. FE would be parallel, right, to the yellow?
EC.
Yes. Now, doesn't AD and EC look like they intersect? But do you guys get that, I mean, this isn't like a square, but AD would be here, and EC would go from this corner diagonally here. So this one's in this plane going diagonally. This one is right here going straight up and down. They would never touch, okay? So even though they look like it 2-dimensionally, you have to think of that more 3-dimensionally, and they don't. What are some others that I could say? HG would, oh, HC, yes, correct. GB, correct.
DC.
FE, did you say, or FA? EH, again, one that looks like it touches it, but it doesn't.
BC, FE.
BC would be parallel to the yellow. Do you get that? And what did you say? FE?
That one also is
FE would be parallel.
Oh, I get it.
Okay? Now, let's look what we have left. This one touches it. This one touches it. This is parallel. This one touches it. This touches it. This is parallel. That's parallel. So I think we have them all. Okay? So we're looking at 4. So we'd have FG. Do you guys see any that I missed? EH and EC. Touches, touches, parallel, parallel, touches, touches, parallel, touches. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay? All right, now let's go to our last page. And again, one of these 2 are on your assignment today, so make sure that you copy this down. So, first of all, this is a hexagonal prism. So the front of it is a hexagon, okay? And what they're asking us first is name all segments parallel to QX right here. Okay? TO is correct. Now think about, could you draw a plane that would go through them both? Like SG. Could I draw a plane that would go through this one and this one? I could, right? Is this already in the same plane?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any more? NE is correct. One more.
MH.
Oh, why did I use green there though? Yes, and MH. You guys are right. So in that hexagon, the ones that would be parallel would be going around that inside of it. Okay, like going around that and finding all of those. So what I'm gonna say here is those blue ones. So I'm going to say NE, MH, TO, SG, and RA. Okay? All right, the next one says, name all planes that intersect MHE. So MHE is here, and we want planes that intersect it. So what did you say?
STM.
STM would be that back one, correct? Doesn't that back one touch the top one, right? Yeah, let's say that. I'm not gonna draw that one on there, but let's say that one. MTS or STM. So if the back one works, does the front one work?
Yeah.
Yes. So do you agree I could say like HEX, plain HEX for the
Yeah.
first one? Okay. Alright. Then, what else do you see that touches it?
MTO.
MTO is correct. This one touches it. So we can say plain MTO. And then plain NQX. Yep. HOG, we did already. We called it HEX, but yes, that front one does touch it. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys this. I hope it doesn't confuse you, but the book would say there's two more, okay? And here's why. Planes keep going forever, okay? So if you imagine this yellow plane extending in all four directions, and then this one coming up the side, extending, and this one extending, do you see that they would
Yeah.
touch? Now, do I expect you guys to write that? No. But if you checked your answers with the book, they would include this one right here and this one right here. Okay, I just wanna point that out. And this one is because if you kept this one going and then kept this one going into the board, those two would eventually touch. I personally would not worry about that if I were you guys, but just so you know if you check the answers. Okay? So let's write those down. Plain, or did I? Good. I think I just have to do that last one over here. NQX. All right. Now, it says name all segments parallel to QR. What's one? Yep. Do you see how this one's kind of going in that way and this one's kind of going? So they're going at different. There are two more though.
NQ.
So for parallel, they can't touch, and NQ touches that one.
MT.
MT is correct. And,
HO.
am I using the wrong color? No. And HO, those four. Do you see it now that those are the four? Okay. So we have XA, and then we have MT and HO. name all segments skew to AQ. And AG. So skew, can't touch it, can't be in the same plane, and you can't draw a plane through them, okay?
MH and
Yes, this is skew. They're never gonna touch, and they're not in the same plane. And what was the other one?
NE.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, Dalton?
Well, QX.
QX is correct.
TO.
TO is correct.
SG. Like,
SG touches it.
NQ.
NQ is correct. That one's in the back plane.
NT.
MT is correct.
NN.
MN would actually be parallel. Do you guys see that? This one, this one, this one, and that one would be parallel, those four.
Wait, why is NQ?
NQ back here is on the back side of that plane, going like diagonally. This one's on the front side of the figure, going left and right.
Okay.
So it's because it's on the back.
TS and QR.
Yes, those are our last two, TS and QR, very good. So those, I think are all of them, but you can always go and check them. So like I said, HE, MN, and RS are all in the same plane, or they're all parallel. Then, all of these are on the front hexagon are in the same plane, so we can't choose those. So HE, EX, XA. SG touches it, SR is parallel, RA touches it, XA touches it, EX is in the same plane, MN is parallel, and RS is parallel. Okay? So I'm gonna just quickly write this down because I think this is the one maybe that is in your homework. So MTTS. TO. MHNE. NQQX. And then QR. And TS. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, everyone get all those? Alright. So, this is a worksheet that is in Schoology. You don't have to write these numbers down. It'll be on the worksheet in my writing which ones to do. So just check Schoology. If for some reason you can't open it, let me know. I believe you will be able to. And we get out at 55 today, so you have a little over a half hour.